Hey, I'm Clint with Flip, here to talk to you about liquor liability insurance and how it can protect you. In a perfect world, you and your business would never be linked to a drunk driving incident, a brawl involving an intoxicated person, or a minor who was injured after drinking underage. However, all these situations are not always in your control. That's why it's important to be prepared with the things that you can control, like having coverage to protect you in the unfortunate case that you are held liable in incidents like these. That's where liquor liability insurance comes into play. Liquor liability insurance can protect you and your assets from potential lawsuits. If someone hurts themselves or others after drinking alcohol that you served them, you could be held liable for those damages or injuries. Costs related to liquor liability claims can exceed $100,000 in court costs, legal fees, and more. For such claims, whether or not you've prepared yourself with insurance coverage could make or break your business. It's logical that a person who causes harm under the influence of alcohol should be held responsible for their actions, but you might be surprised at what could come back to you. For example, in New Jersey, a jury awarded $135 million to the family of a girl who was paralyzed after a drunk driver collided with the car in which she was riding. The driver had a blood alcohol concentration twice the legal limit after leaving a New York Giants football game, and it was determined that the concessionaire at Giants Stadium was partially liable for the victim's injuries. Think of how many patrons that concessionaire served at that game, and just how many you'd have to keep a close eye on when serving alcohol. It only takes one causing harm or damage or injury to ruin you financially. When you're serving, distributing, or selling alcohol, it's your responsibility to make sure that your patrons are of legal age and they're not over-consuming it. Even if you're careful, there's only so much you can do. How are you to know who may be drinking on an empty stomach, have a low alcohol tolerance, or who's been drinking before they ever ordered their first drink from you? You can use your best judgment based on your training, but at the end of the day, you cannot control the actions of others after you've served them. In another instance, a bartender failed to check the IDs of two patrons who ended up being underage. After leaving the sports bar where they were being served, one of them drove intoxicated. The other was killed, riding as his passenger, when the drunk driver crashed into a tree. The bartender was charged for serving a minor and an intoxicated person. These examples go to show you that when it comes to bartending, small mistakes can have massive consequences. These are only a few of the risks that you face each day, but I hope they provide you some real insight into possible liabilities. Can you see yourself in a situation like this? Or better yet, if you were in a situation like this, would you feel protected? Now that you know a little bit more about liquor liability insurance, find out if it's right for you. Click to get a quote today. Thanks for watching.